GM. GM. Today's lesson, we'll talk a little bit about process and finding the process that works for you. So I had actually a good question from a student this evening saying, if trading's all about systems, then why do you do daily levels? Why do you do trade of the day? Why do you do weekly outlook, monthly preview? So I think what he was confused about was, if all we have is our system, our entry, stop loss, take profit, then why are you doing these videos? Two parts to that. One, I do the process that works for me, right? You have to find the process that works for you. I am not 100% systematic where I just have rules and I only ever look at those rules and enter. That's not how I trade. I analyze the market to identify different patterns, conditions, periods of outperformance. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? Are there catalysts coming up? Is there a narrative? Is there news? Is there what's happening with macro? All that kind of stuff matters to me because for me, right, this is not you. You can trade however you want. I first have to develop a mental model, right? A view of the market as a whole. I have to get a picture in my head for where I think the market's going, what I think it's doing, and what I think it's going to continue to do over the next few days or weeks or months or whatever. And then for execution, I use systems. So analyzing the market is not something that you can just do by looking only for your setups, like just only looking for a trade to set up. Now, if you want to do that, you can, right? But that would mean then that your daily levels, your trade of the day, your weekly outlook would be the same thing, just different. I think a lot of people, I hope you guys don't watch my daily levels and then think that that's your work for the day done. That's my analysis that I'm doing. I do that if I wasn't here in the real world, I would still be doing all that. Because that's my process. That's how I analyze the market. If you watch me doing it and you take whatever value you get from it, great. But you should have your own process too. Just like the way that I look over Bitcoin and I look at the data and I look at the news and I look at the economic events and I look at stuff on Twitter, whatever it might be that I look at on a video. You should have your own process. So if you are just purely systematic and you're at that stage, especially at the start, where you're just trading following the rules of your system and your system just has that focus, then great, perfect. But then your 10-minute morning analysis should be, okay, I'm looking for market structure breaks because that's the system I trade. So I'm going to look through my coins, my list of coins on my watch list, on the 1 hour chart for market structure breaks. And I'm going to set alerts at those levels. Like that's what you're looking for, right? You're not concerned about total 3 or total 2 or open interest or funding rates. They're things that I'm concerned about, but that's my process. If you're concerned just about market structure breaks because that's your system, then perfect. It's the same as, certain traders only trade breaking news. So they're actually just scanning the news channels all the time and they're waiting for some kind of breaking news to come out and then they react to that. After the news comes out, coin pumps or dumps, they react to that. That's generally more of a TradFi thing. There's more breaking news in the stock market than there is in crypto because, occasionally there's stuff that affects crypto coins. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That person's process would be, they're not going to be interested. Again, they're not going to care really about open interest or funding rates or anything like that. They're just going to be waiting and watching for a news headline to hit. They're going to wait for the market to react, pump or dump, and they're going to take their trade based upon their systems that they've pre-built and the process they follow. If you are a moving average trader, right, if you trade based on trend continuation and you like to buy a pullback into moving averages in an uptrend, then every day you should be looking at the market with the moving averages on, and maybe that's your morning analysis. Just look through 50 coins with the MA on, just scroll through them, and note down the ones that are close to their moving average or that have touched it or tested it or wherever they're at, so you can start to build a short list of coins that might be on your radar. So for everyone, it's different. And it's great. You can watch my stuff, obviously. That's why I do it. I put it out there for you guys to learn and to see what I'm thinking and to be informed. But if you trade a certain type of way, it doesn't mean you have to do the same analysis I do, right? I don't trade the same as you. You don't trade the same as the next person. We all trade differently. And over the years, my trading style has developed. And you have to remember, it's years and years and years of experience and practice and mistakes and fixing stuff, to where I have a very discretionary view on the market, meaning I want to read a bunch of things, look at sentiment, just get my general feeling for the market, and then use my systems for execution. So I always enter and execute a trade systematically. But the reasons for me getting into that trade, or the reasons for me looking at that or preferring one trade over another, will be because of all the other stuff I do, right? If I see, for example, if I see total 3 outperforming Bitcoin after a rally, so Bitcoin rallies up, then Bitcoin goes sideways, then total 3 rallies, Bitcoin goes sideways, total 3 goes higher, and that happens for 2 or 3 days, I would be looking biased towards pullbacks, because typically Bitcoin goes first, then altcoins go, and after the altcoins have gone and Bitcoin's lagging, the whole market tends to have some kind of sell-off. So you can see that that's not like 100% objective, systematic, that's very discretionary. But if I'm looking for a short, then I would only enter a short on whatever altcoin or whatever coin. I would only enter a short if I got a technical setup on my system, one of my shorting systems. Yeah? So that's how I do it. I mix the two together. You can trade however you want, but obviously if you're starting out, stick just fully systematic. Whatever your process is, plug that in. That becomes your workflow, and that's the thing you should focus on.